What is going on, guys? So today's gonna be really quick. All right. I've been getting this question a lot, and I wanted to answer it here. Now, I'm gonna give you the condensed version of this. There are 7 ways, and I'm not gonna share all of them with you here because it's gonna be way too freaking long. But I'm gonna share with you 3 ways today to monetize your podcast. So, the question comes up a lot: how do I monetize my podcast? Or like, what's the best way to monetize my podcast? And the honest to God answer is it depends on your strengths. So I'm going to go over 3 ways here. I've actually got them written down, as you can see here in my little book. I've got them written down because there's really 7 I've identified, but there's 3 I want to talk to you today about. So if you see my eyes looking down, it's because I've written down very specific examples, because I'm not going to give you I'm not going to give you like the bland, broad strokes like, oh, you should just sell ads. No, I'm gonna give you some very specific examples of what like how to do them, and then what's the best scenario for them, right? Because there's 1,000,001 people talking about monetizing a podcast. So I want to go a level deeper with you and give you some specific examples and specific markets that these work in. Okay, so just bear with me if you see me looking down. So Number one is selling into a subscription based product. So a monthly membership type of product, right? So this is probably best when you have, let's just say, like, so for instance, one of my recent episodes was with my friends Mike and Rick Tealsmans. These guys are experts in the back end. So monetizing and keeping members of a membership site active and engaged for like 12 to 14 to 16 months. They're really good at keeping people paying and staying, as they say. So one of the things they talked about was having a tribe. So, or having a membership site that's really acting like a tribe. So it's not just you're paying for information, they're paying for transformation. So if you have some kind of membership site, or you have some kind of you just bear with me here. I'm going to help you out with this, how to set it up. But if you have some kind of membership site that's a year or 6, maybe it's month to month, maybe it's a whole year you're selling into, what they were talking about, how they said this really works. And I think this would work great in a podcast. I've actually had a few friends try it out, is by giving a month free. So you give the first month for free to try it out. But this is where the whole tribe thing comes in, because you need to make sure that first month that they're getting results. Because if they're getting results, then they're going to want to stay. It's just like when you get, like, for instance, Mint, they mentioned this on the episode. Mint, the app, it's a subscription-based app, but they know if they get you to hook up your credit card and hook up your bank account, you are far, far, far more likely to stay a customer, because it's going to give you reports. It's going to show you where you're losing money. It's going to show you where you can save money. It's going to do all this crazy shit for you. So they're giving you results in advance. So number one, if you want to sell or monetize your podcast, one way to do it is if you have a subscription product, a monthly membership site. You offer a free month or free 2 weeks. You make sure the person gets results in those first 2 weeks or month or whatever, and then they're going to be more indoctrinated to stay. You're also going to want to make sure that the people in that tribe and community welcome in that first person, or welcome in that person who's trying it for free. You want to make sure they use their name. You want to make sure they get recognized. You want to make sure they get called out, and people are welcoming in, can't speak right now, welcoming them in to your community. So that's number one. So that's the number one way, or one of the ways to monetize your show. If you have a subscription type of model, if you have a monthly membership, give them a month free, make sure they get results, welcome them into the tribe, and then make sure they get results. Biggest thing right there. So then they'll stay, hopefully. So that's number one. Number 2 is if you're selling ad spots. So you can sell ad spots on a podcast, so you don't need that many downloads. Now, there are some caveats to this where I've seen it work. I've actually talked to people and podcasters who are making good money, 5 figures a year, like mid 5 figures. So we're talking like $50 to $60 to $70,000 a year on sponsorship money. That's not bad money from podcasting. So how this really works well, is if you're in a very specific niche with a high ticket item. So I'll give you some examples. So if your podcast is talking about logistics and the final mile, so logistics, international logistics. So basically how when you order something from Amazon, how does it get from the Amazon fulfillment center to your house? There are companies, there are experts, there's a lot of conferences around that stuff. Logistics is huge. So if you have a podcast and you're an expert in that field, and these companies who are in the logistics, in the final mile, don't really know the name of it, but this is a real life example of someone who I spoke with. Their podcast was not getting that many downloads. I'm talking like probably 1,000 per episode, maybe 1,500. It's not that many. So they were making good money, even though their show was small, but because they were in a very high ticket item, or they're talking about high ticket item. So consulting, logistics, like that's big money in that item, in that arena. And it's a very specific, very, very specific topic. You know what I mean? Like the people who are listening to this are buyers. They're CMOs, they're CEOs, they're consultants, they're coaches, they're people who are working in this big industry, or in this very, very high ticket industry, right? So if you're gonna sell ad spots and monetize your show that way, you have to make sure but it's in your best interest to make sure that it's in a high ticket, very specific niche type of genre, right? So you gotta be talking about a very specific thing or topic. And obviously it works better if you're an expert in it. So that's number 2. So if you're going to sell ad spots, high ticket, specific niche, very, very specific niche. So you want to own that. So that's number 2. Number 3 is, what do I have here for number 3? It's coaching and consulting. And with coaching and consulting, one of the things that I've seen this was not my idea initially. This was actually one of my clients' ideas, and she's an expert in this. She's a 8-figure coach. So all the credit goes to her. But how she was saying on how the best way to get coaching clients from a podcast is if you have a very, very, very high value free item to give away every episode. So I'm talking about, like, give you an example here of how I would do it, right? I would say at the end of my podcast, I would say, hey, if you want to get a free welcome gift from me, or my free book, and also all the tools I give away to my new clients, go to this website, www.lewisryan.com/podcast. Enter your name, enter your address in there. I'm going to send you something in the mail. So you send them let's just say a $10, $15, $20 package, right? They come in, they also book a call with you. So now you've sent a person from your podcast to basically get a free offer. So you're actually going to eat the $20 or $30, whatever it costs, up front to get them on the phone to potentially close them as a client. So in that package, it's got to be like a welcome gift. It's got to be really high value. Maybe if you have a book or something like that, that's going to teach them that they're not going to throw away. So it's going to stay with them, like all these books here, for a long time. So that's one way you can do it. High value gift, free offer. Send them from the podcast to get that. You'd eat that $20 or $30 just like you would on Facebook ads or any kind of ad platform, right? So get them on the phone. And then if you have a good product and they're a good fit for it, then obviously yes. Now, there's some things you want to make sure of this. You want to make sure you have some kind of application form so that they can qualify themselves to see if you should get on the phone with them, right? So there are some caveats to this, but at the end of the day, I think the biggest thing you want to take away from this is that if you're selling coaching and consulting, you want to have a really high value free offer for them to take you up on if they're really interested. So that's the big takeaway there. If you're selling coaching and consulting, you're going to want to give away something high value. Maybe I've done it. Honestly, I've done it with like 15-minute calls. Email me if you want to tackle your biggest problem with podcasting, and I'll give you 15 minutes of my time. We'll talk. So that's another way I do it. It's a lot leaner, a lot freer, a lot cheaper. But you can do that, or you can also do a free gift or a free book. You can make them pay for shipping. I would say if they're still paying, it's still a product. They still have to pull their wallet out. So you can choose you pay it or they pay it. Either way. But the key here is high value, right? You want to really give them a good experience, and then they will reciprocate. So 3 ways to monetize your podcast. Number 1, give a free trial to some kind of membership site. If you're selling a membership site, or if you have some kind of monthly membership program, give them a free week, month, week or 2 weeks or a month, and make sure they get results, and then they'll stay. Number two, if you're going to sell ads or sponsorships on your podcast, it's got to be high ticket, high niche, or high ticket specific niche. And then number three, if you're a coach or consultant and you're looking to monetize your podcast, you really want to make sure you have some kind of really high value free lead, really magnetic offer, free book, 15 minutes of your time, something that is specific, it's actually unscalable, right? It's unscalable by nature, and you got to make sure it's really good. So they're going to take you up on it. They're going to get on the phone with you, and then you have the opportunity to offer your services from there. So hope that was helpful for monetizing your show. Be sure to like this and share this with someone if you thought it was valuable, and I'll catch you later. Peace.